What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday morning. Woodward Bets in the house, talking everything college football. I am Bear, joined as always by Scott. To see he's got his Michigan gear on, hoping for a bounce back win against Indiana. We'll certainly talk about that game and every other game in the top 25. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the show. Now, before we get into the games, make sure you are following our Twitter page at Woodward Bets. Follow the network at Woodward Sports, and make sure you head over to Underdog Fantasy using our promo code WSN. Great sponsor of the show. Glad to have them aboard here. Guys, Woodward, Underdog, a ton of fun. If you haven't checked it out yet, slick mobile app, can play on your desktop as well if you're old like Scott. Available on the Apple App Store or on Google Play. Best ball drafts. Basically, you draft, you forget it. No substitutions needed, no waiver wires. Very, very easy. They also have a ton of different prop drafts, pick'em drafts. As you can see, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so excited about Underdog Fantasy. So we've hooked you up. We got a special offer for you guys using promo code WSN. All you have to do is deposit $10. You're going to get $10 free. So 100% deposit match there on that $10. Go and check it out today. Underdog Fantasy. Use our promo code WSN. Scott, you ready to talk some college football, buddy? How we doing on this Saturday morning?
Heck yeah. I had a fun night last night. Had some buddies turning 50. So, we're getting old. Had some fun. And Chris, man, I tell you what, you're having fun when you wake up and you still got your Burger King on your lap from the night before. So, hey, fun night. But we're going to have some fun today because getting into college football and we got some NFL coming up. So, looking forward to breaking some of these games down. There's only two top 25 teams playing each other today. So, kind of the calm before the storm here when we get all these rivalry games coming up here in the next few weeks.
Yep, absolutely. So college football getting down to the nitty gritty. We saw the first playoffs released, but we're going to dive right into the games here and break things down, and we'll save our best bets for the end of the show, kind of give you things we're leaning, things we're looking at along the way. So we're going to go down the card in order, get these noon games out first. So Scott, first one on the docket, unfortunately for you, is your nemesis, Ohio State, ranked 5th. They're traveling to Nebraska. Looks like Ohio State minus 14.5 here. Total up to 67, opened up at 63. So total's already been bet up some. So how do you see this game playing out? Nebraska have any shot here? It looks like about 70% of the bets so far are on the Buckeyes, I think with good reason here. So does Ohio State roll? Does Nebraska stand a chance in this one?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I think the Buckies roll. I think they've won the last two meetings by an average of 33 points. I mean, the Huskers have lost 3 straight games, a one-score loss. They have 3 in a row where they've only lost by 1 score. So, but I think the Buckies defense has been playing a little bit better. I've been kind of keeping my eye on them. I mean, that defense has definitely improved from what we saw at the beginning of the season. So I think the Buckies cover here. I think they win by mid-20s, maybe 21 or so. So I'm not afraid of that 14.5.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't have a super strong lean on it. I think Nebraska can be pesky enough here. I kind of want to go with the under here, too. I know it's been bet up, but that's a pretty high number here. And I know Ohio State's going to score, but is Nebraska going to score enough points to make this thing viable is really my question here with this one. So I do think Ohio State wins. I think they probably cover here. But again, I'm not super conviction on this one. So I'm going to leave this one alone. And we talk about this all the time. I'm going to bring it up again. You don't have to bet every game. You're not going to have a strong feeling on every game. And that's really what we're trying to teach you here at Woodward Bets. It's not me trying to avoid making a pick and put my name on every single pick. I want to give you guys the best of the picks, the things that I feel strongest about, not just to hand out 9-10 picks so you can go make some crazy parlay. And now, Scott, you want to do the same. We want to identify the 2, 3, 4 games, totals, whatever it may be, that we feel strongest about. And I'm just not feeling it here in this game. So a lot of games to get to, Scott. Let's go to the next one. This one should be fun here. You got Wake Forest and North Carolina. Wake Forest checking in at number 9, undefeated here. North Carolina, been a disappointing team so far, 4-4, 3-5 against the spread here. So shockingly, Scott, we have North Carolina as a minus 2.5 point favorite here. We have not seen any movement on the spread, the total all the way up to 77. So this one should be a lot of fun here. What do we got on this one?
Yeah, two real good quarterbacks and potentially a future Lion in Mr. Sam Howell here in North Carolina. So we got two battle of the Sam Hartman, Sam Howell. But the home team's won the last 6 meetings here. But Chris, I think Wake Forest is going to break that trend. And I really do like this game to have a lot of points. I actually played a little college fantasy football, and I do have Sam Howell, and that kid's really good. So, but I do expect some points. But I think Wake Forest is a little bit better, and maybe we'll go 47-44. I think it'll be a close game, but I really like the points in this one too.
All right, I'm going to go under on this one, not to debate your score there. A 47-44 is certainly one that, you don't want to sit and watch and enjoy the fireworks. And I do think we'll get fireworks in this game, no doubt. You mentioned fantasy. This is certainly one that's going to be stacked up a lot of different ways with Howell, like you mentioned, stud receiver there with North Carolina as well. Always a popular pairing, but it's a big number at 77. And if you're a team in the top 10, you have aspirations of being in the football playoff championship, you better play a little bit of defense here. So I think we could see Wake at least hold North Carolina, around 30 or so, which would keep this number hopefully under the total. So at 77, I like the under in this game here, but this one should definitely be a lot of fun. Let's move to our next game. We got SMU checking in at number 24, 7-1 on the season. Traveling to Memphis. Memphis just 4-4, 3-5 against the spread here. Scott, as this looks like a game that SMU should roll, but it has been bet down a little bit. Started out SMU -6. We're all the way down to 4.5. Another very high total here at 70.5. So we spent a lot of time talking NFL. You forget how high these college totals can be. Another big number here. Any strong leans on this game?
Yeah, I can't say I got any strong leans. I think SMU just came off a pretty shocking loss to Houston, which I'm pretty sure they're disappointed about. That may just have got this team to be a little bit more focused. But 73% of the money seems to be coming in on SMU. So usually when it's that high, I don't really have any strong leans here. I would say SMU being in the spot that they're in, considering they did just have a shocking loss, maybe, like I said, a little bit more focused. So, yeah, I think this one's tough. I'm just going to stay away. I just don't like how so much money is coming in on one side. I generally don't. I like to stay away from them high percentage games where a lot of money's going on one side, especially in college. But there's a reason why it's being bet from 6 down to 4.5. So that does lay me a little bit of caution there. So I think I'm going to pass, but SMU is in a decent spot here.
Another under for me here. When you get those 70s, it's fun to bet overs, no doubt. And that's generally, if you want to have more fun and cheer for touchdowns, things like that, then over is the name of your game. But I tend to like unders in these big numbers, Scott. We see both of these teams we know can score the ball. SMU averaging 42 points per game, Memphis over 32 points per game. But defensively, they've been pretty good. Memphis has held opponents to 29 points per game, SMU 25 points per game. So these are not two defenses that are just going to go out there and give up 40, 50 points. So again, when you get to that 70 number, it's a number that I tend to lean to under. So another under for me here, kind of again, raining on the over parade, but I am locking in the under on this SMU Memphis game. Next game, another team basically on the outskirts of the top 25, but they squeezed in there. Pittsburgh at number 25 travels to Duke. Pittsburgh 6-2, also 6-2 against the spread. Duke, it's been a struggle, 3-5, but they are 3-1 at home, 4-0 at home against the spread. So something's got to give here, Scott. This one's sitting at Pittsburgh -21 here, total at 64.5. Anything here between Pittsburgh and Duke?
Yeah, a lot of the money is coming in here on Pitt as well. I mean, Pitt's 6-2 against the spread. 21 points, a lot of points to get at home, but we know Duke's a basketball school. So I'm going to ride with Pittsburgh here. I'm not afraid to lay the points, but I wouldn't say I have a really strong lean, but I think Pitt's just obviously a better team.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh needs a win here. Obviously, they had high aspirations. Those couple losses pretty much knocked them out of contention here, but a chance to move up in the rankings. I like some of the trends here with this Duke team. But again, who have they really played? So a lot of question marks here with Duke. No strong leans here. I think Pittsburgh probably wins this game, but it's probably pretty close to that 21. So I'm pretty much hands off on this one. Next game, this one should be fun too. We got a small school in Liberty traveling to Ole Miss here. Mississippi, just 9.5-point favorites here, which you would think it would be a little bit more of a mismatch. 67 currently on the total. Liberty 7-2 overall. Ole Miss 6-2 here, 4-0 at home. So, Scott, can the small school pull the upset first of all? But 9.5 seems a little bit small here for a matchup between Liberty and an SEC team in Mississippi.
Well, I think they're playing this game because that's the old former coach of Liberty is Hugh Freeze. So he's definitely familiar with his old team, that's for sure. We got two good quarterbacks here, actually, Matt Corral and Malik Willis. They should be getting some of these NFL scouts to be chiming into this one here. So with that being said, I think two good quarterbacks here. I don't mind an overplay here. I think Ole Miss is definitely going to score some points. So I'm going to bank on the fact I think Hugh Freeze is going to be able to put up some points here. He should be able to drum up a pretty decent game plan against Lane Kiffin and them. But the Rebels are 4-1 against the spread, against the favorites. So they've been covering when they're supposed to. But I'm not quite sure if they'll be able to cover this one. But I do like the points, the over in this one here. I think they're going to score a little bit above 70. So to see that number below, I think I'm going to roll with that.
All right, I like Liberty in this matchup. You know, we talked about this with a spread yesterday on the show with Braylon and Ryan Armani, that Purdue-Michigan State game, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But sometimes when a line looks funky, there's a reason why. You know, this seems like most public bettors would be like, I'm taking Mississippi. It's under 10. They're playing a Liberty team that's not even in a Power 5 conference. This is a major mismatch. I always want to be against the public here, and I think Liberty is the way to do that. You mentioned the coach, obviously knows this team very well, is going to know how to design his defense, know how to attack them offensively. I think Liberty can do enough to hang in this game. So that spread seems funky for a reason, Scott. I'm going to be on board here. I like Liberty plus the 9.5. Next game, the number one team in the land, massive spread here. We got Missouri traveling to Georgia, Scott. This one all the way up to 39.5 in favor of the Dogs. A total sitting at 59.5. I mean, Georgia just on a roll this season, undefeated, 6-2 against the spread. Meanwhile, you got Missouri. This one is tough to even believe is accurate, but Missouri 0-8 against the spread this season. So 4-4 on the year, but have not covered a spread. Do they cover one here for the first time all season, Scott?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, 39 points is pretty tough to lay out. But, yeah, I think they may get a cover here. I mean, you can get a late dirty cover. I mean, backdoor cover here with the point spread like that, which is always scary. We almost saw that last night in that Colts game, or I'm sorry, the other night with that Colts game in the NFL. It's like, 50 big point spread, and they're up 15, and it's 10, and you're thinking, please don't give up a meaningless touchdown. But even at 40, are we talking about backups playing? Is Mizzou going to try to score late? Like, you almost just think if Mizzou scores 10, I mean, now you're expecting Georgia to have to put up mid-50s. And at that point, I'd rather just bet the over. So can't say I got a really strong lean on this. I just don't really like laying 40 points like that. But I think Georgia could possibly do it, but it's scary. It's really scary laying with that many points.
Yeah, I think Georgia rolls here, but that is a lot of points. Like you said, Missouri's not bad enough where they're not going to be able to put, 10, 17 points on the board. That being said, this Georgia defense is lights out. So maybe they do shut this team out and just roll here. But I don't want to lay that many points. I certainly don't want to be on Missouri in this spot. They got to cover the spread eventually. I just don't know that this is the spot. So this one, a pass for me. Let's move back to the Big Ten. We got Illinois coming to Minnesota. Illinois been a struggle, 3-6 this year. Minnesota 6-2, ranked 20th in the land, 14.5-point favorites here. Very low total here, Scott, at just 44. So a classic Big Ten battle here. They're expecting a low-scoring game. Does that make you want to go over on this game? Minnesota going to roll here. What are your thoughts on this one?
You mentioned Minnesota. They have been playing better here as of recent. So I think I would just tend to bet on Minnesota here, give the 14.5. Illinois just I've caught glimpses of them, flipping through games, and they just don't look very impressive to me. So I'm going to bet on PJ Fleck. I think he just got a nice big contract, so I'm just going to ride that wave. They're 5-2 and 1 against the spread, 6-2. So I think they lay one on Illinois here.
I want to go the over on this one just because the number is so low. Minnesota averaging 28 a game. The problem is Illinois averaging only 17 a game. That Minnesota defense has held teams under 20 points per game. So this feels like one of those 24 to 7 type wins for Minnesota, which is not enough away from the spread to get me excited about it. So this is another one I don't have a real strong lean on. I think Minnesota wins in kind of an ugly game. So pretty much a stay away for me on this one. Next game we got here, Scott, Navy and Notre Dame. Now we're into the 3:30 games here on the board. Notre Dame minus 21 here, 47.5 on the total. Navy, it's been a struggle, just 2-6 this season overall, 5-3 against the spread though. So that's pretty good. They're covering spreads. Can they do it here against a 7-1 Notre Dame team, also 5-3 against the spread here this season?
Yeah, I actually do like Navy in this spot. I mean, Navy has covered the spread 5. They're 5-1, as you mentioned. They've been double-digit underdogs in all of those games, and they've all had one-score losses against Houston, SMU, and Cincinnati. So I think Navy can slow this one down enough here to keep it under 21 and get us the cover. I'm going to roll with Navy here over Notre Dame.
I am with you on Navy. Not as strong of a feeling as you have on it. I do think they can do enough here to keep this game close. I think Notre Dame probably can win this one in their sleep. So, are they going to go out and murder this team? I highly doubt it. So, Navy, I think, does keep this competitive. But, again, not strong enough lean there. 21, not bad. I would like it at more like 24. So I'm going to pass on this one for a bet. All right, we finally get to a matchup of two top 25 teams. Not only that, two top 15 teams. Big time showdown here between Auburn and Texas A&M. Auburn 13th, Texas A&M 14th. Both teams 5-3 against the spread over their last 10. Both teams checking in 6-2 here, Scott. What gives? We got Texas A&M at home -4. Total's been bet down a little bit, but still sitting at 49.5.
Yeah, Auburn's had been. I think they got double-digit wins here the last few weeks, but I will say I think Jimbo Fisher and the crew down there at Texas A&M are going to win this one. They've had a week to prepare. They had a bye week last week, and they're waiting for Auburn. So I'm going to roll that Jimbo Fisher, and I'm going to roll with his coaching staff and figure that they get to win and get it done here at home today. So I'm gonna give the points to Auburn.
I like the over in this one. Two teams that can score the ball for sure. Both teams averaging right around 30. Auburn almost 35 points per game. These defenses have been very good, limiting teams to under 20 points per game. But I think offense going to kind of rule the day here. I think you could see kind of a back and forth shootout type game. So I like the over. 49 is the lowest I can find on it. That one at DraftKings, PointsBet. There are some 49.5s. I don't hate that either, but if I can land right on that 49, I think we get a little bit of a shootout here between these two teams. So over for me in that one. Next one, this one interesting as well. Tulsa and Cincinnati. Cincinnati got to be feeling disrespected. I mean, they've been on a roll. I know they struggled a little bit last week, but got the W, undefeated. But they come in ranked 6th in the initial college football playoffs. So they're feeling slighted here. Now they get a matchup with a 3-5 Tulsa team that's really been struggling. Scott, is this a spot where Cincinnati sends a message and they roll? Just 22.5-point favorites here, 55 on the total.
Well, I will say, I think the logic would say that Cincinnati is going to be they're pressured to run up to score here, and two, Tulsa's a common opponent that they had with Ohio State. So Ohio State did beat Tulsa 41-20 earlier in the season. We did mention that Ohio State did seem to struggle a little bit out the gate defensively, which I think they've kind of put that to rest. But I think Cincinnati is going to be pressured to try to run up to score here because of that. So I think they're going to be focused to try to run it up. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. And I'm going to say Cincinnati wins by 30-some points just because I feel as if they're really going to try to push it, because I got to believe they do know that this is a common opponent between the two.
Yeah, I'm sure they know that. I think Tulsa's pesky enough, though, to kind of stay in this game, stay competitive. So, if it was under 21, I'd feel better about it. But being 22, this thing has been bet down a little bit as well. So we're seeing some action on the Tulsa side of things. So it's just, I have a weird feeling about this one. I get your point. I agree. I think Cincinnati's got a roll, but I think Tulsa can hang in this game. So I'm going to pass. I'm not ready to back Tulsa, but certainly not ready to go all in on Cincinnati in this spot either. All right, back to the Big Ten. Next game, Penn State traveling to Maryland. Penn State -10 here in the spot. That one's been bet down a little bit as well. Started at 11, 56 on the total. 5-3 against the spread for the Nittany Lions. Just 3-5 for Maryland. So Scott, Penn State, another team that's kind of needs to make a move, needs a couple wins here, still in contention. Do they just come out and roll this Maryland team, or we see the Terrapins be competitive here?
I actually do like Maryland in this game. I think the 11.5 is way too much. Maryland did beat Penn State last year, 35-19, but I'm not really buying into the Nittany Lions here yet. I mean, yes, I understand they're ranked number 22, but I think 11 points at Maryland is going to be tough for them. So they may win, but I think they fail to cover.
Yeah, I like Maryland in the spot as well. I like taking the points with this one. Again, I think Penn State wins, but Maryland keeps this competitive. So I like grabbing the points there. It's been bet down to just 10. So clearly some action on Maryland. I think it's a good reason why that they are going to be able to be competitive here. So give me the Terps here plus the points as well. Next game, we got Okie State traveling to West Virginia. Oklahoma State just -3.5 here in this one. One of those games where you see the home team is not very good, just 4-4 on the season here, but 7-1 Oklahoma State team, barely the favorite, Scott. This one, again, feels a little bit fishy. Are you backing West Virginia here as Okie State roll?
West Virginia is 3-1 at home, and they're 3-0 against the spread as an underdog. So I think a few bettors have been burned by West Virginia, especially at home. But Chris, I think OK State. I mean, they've won the last 6 meetings against them. I think they need to. I think they need to run the ball a little bit here and get it going. I think they're going to. I'm not afraid of that 2.5, especially if it stays under 3. So I think Oklahoma State is going to go into Morgantown and come out with a victory, and I think they cover.
All right, I like the over in this one. Kind of the same thoughts as the Auburn A&M game. I think we're going to have points here. I think West Virginia will be able to put up some points. We know Okie State's going to score, so I really like the over in this one. I haven't seen a ton of movement on that number, sitting right around 49, but I do think we'll get points here. Next game, we got Baylor and TCU. Baylor up to number 12 in the country, 7-1, 6-2 against the spread. TCU been a struggle this season, 3-5 on the year, just 1-6-1 against the spread, Scott. And this is another one. Baylor just -7 here. Now, it has been bet up a little bit, total sitting at 58. This feels like a spot Baylor should roll, though. 7 seems a little bit too low.
Yeah, I really like Baylor. TCU fired their coach, Gary Patterson. So I think, the Horned Frogs here might be in a little bit of disarray. Who knows what kind of mindset they're going to have. But I think Baylor, the way they're able to run the ball, they average like almost 235 rushing yards a game. So I think the Bears are going to win here. I think they covered the spread. So who knows? Like I said, I think TCU, they got a little bit of issues other than football going on with their coach leaving. But I think Baylor wins and covers.
Yeah, I like Baylor here as well. Again, seems a little bit fishy. That should put us on the TCU side. But TCU's been a disaster. You mentioned the coach there. I think Baylor covers this one and wins this one pretty easy. Next, we got my Badgers, number 21, traveling to Rutgers. Badgers -13 here in this game. And Rutgers been pretty good, 5-3 against the spread. So they're staying competitive. I think they can stay competitive in this game, Scott. Agree, or is it a Badgers route here in this one?
Yeah, this one here was kind of tough. I can't really seem to get a good gauge on Wisconsin. It seems like every time I guess what I think they're going to do, I seem to get it wrong. So this is one I think I'm going to leave alone. I do respect Greg Schiano and Rutgers. I think they're just a pesky team that every time I seem to bet against them, they jump up and bite me in the ass. I mean, we see a low over-under of only 38. So we're really not expecting points. I mean, we've seen some of these games already in the 70s. I mean, this one's 38. I mean, we're talking NFL-type over-unders here, but it's been bet up to 13. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. 65% of the money's coming in on the Badgers. But, yeah, I think I would just sit back and watch this one.
Yeah, I'm going to leave this one alone. As a fan, I generally don't like betting on my team. I'd just rather watch. Hopefully they come out with a win here. I do think Rutgers will put up a fight in this one. So a pass for me, a pass on the next one as well. BYU, big 35.5-point favorites against Idaho State, who's 1-7. This one I'm just going to leave alone, Scott. I don't know much about Idaho State, and be honest. I think BYU could roll, but I don't want to lay those 35 points. What about yourself?
Yeah, I don't blame it. This one might even be on some books. I don't even know if Idaho State, some books may not even have it, but yeah, I think I just leave it alone as well. I don't like taking high numbers like that, especially against really teams I don't really, especially Idaho State. I don't really know too much about them, so I'll just leave it alone.
All right, let's move on to one of the local teams here, Michigan State and Purdue. We got Michigan State just -3 here at Purdue, a 5-3 team. I talked about this the other day, Scott. Oh, maybe it was hot take-ish. Some people thought. I really think Purdue is going to win this game. Michigan State played what to me was their Super Bowl against Michigan. Yes, you got to respect what Mel Tucker has done. This team is playing fantastic right now. This feels like a classic letdown spot here, and Purdue's losses have all come to very good teams here. So I don't know if I'm out on a limb here and out on an island, but I'm trusting that this line has been 3. It has not moved. That tells me something here. I think Purdue wins this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Sparties are going to have a hard time. When you get up for big games like that, like you mentioned on the Ryan and Braylon show, that was their Super Bowl, obviously beating Michigan in the rivals. I mean, these are young kids. Like, these are not professionals. These are still college kids. Yes, they probably all week been being told how great they are. And now they got to go on a road. A Big Ten road game is very tough, as we've seen over the years. So I think Purdue is pesky. Now, the one thing I can say, Purdue has struggled against some teams that were pretty decent at running the ball, Minnesota, and we also seen them struggle a little bit against your Badgers and then Notre Dame. But, yes, this definitely is a trap spot. We've talked about it many times. I think if you took the 2 team names away and you just looked at the actual spot with the betting numbers and the teams that come in and what happened the week before, our eyes are trained as sports bettors, Chris, and we know this is stinky here. We probably would stay away, not bet with our hearts. But, as a Michigan fan, sure, it'd be fun for me to bet on Purdue today to give some fun to my, shit back to my buddies after that victory. But I'm going to stay away. I still don't like either really side. I think it is a pretty risky bet today. I don't like it either way. So I'm going to stay away. And, hey, if Purdue does pull out the upset, I'll just have as much fun as I can, poking the little fun back that I got last week at my boys about the Sparties beating my Wolves.
There you go. That's what it's all about, having fun with it. So, again, I think Purdue wins this game, but we'll see. Maybe Michigan State will prove me wrong. Once again, next game back to the SEC, Mississippi State and Arkansas. Arkansas -4 here. Mississippi State 17th in the country, but both these teams 5-3. Scott, does this sound right? Should Arkansas be -4-point favorites in this one?
This one's another one that I was looking at, tricky SEC matchup here. I mean, you're looking at a team. I mean, they're the 17th ranked team, and now they're going on the road. And guess what, Chris? 60% of the money is coming in on Arkansas. So you're kind of looking at it thinking, does that number 17 ranking, is that really deserved over there with Mississippi State? This one here, I'm not going to take this game here at all. But if I was forced to, I'd probably take the home team and go with Arkansas. But it does smell fishy, though. Again, this one's here, another one here that just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this one. I don't think Mississippi State is as good as that ranking indicates. I don't think Arkansas is as bad as some people think. But laying the 4 points here, I'm gonna stay clear of this one. Leave that one alone. Next game, we got NC State, ranked 19th, traveling to Florida State here. NC State just -2.5, 56. On the total here. Been a pretty good team thus far, 5-3 against the spread. Been a struggle for Florida State this year. Can they rebound in this one against NC State?
Yeah, I've watched actually a couple FSU games, and they haven't impressed me at all. I think NC State is going to roll into Tallahassee here and come out with a victory, and they'll cover the spread as well. I like NC State here.
All right, next ranking, we got Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern. Scott, I've seen a little bit of Coastal Carolina. Pretty good team here, but I'm not going to pretend to know much about Georgia Southern. So 19.5 on the spread, 60.5 on the total. I am out on this one. I just don't know enough about Georgia Southern to make a pick. You got any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I have bet on Coastal Carolina a couple times. They did fail to cover last week, but I think that offense will get it going today. The Georgia Southern Eagles are on a 3-game losing streak. So I think they get off to a slow start. And I think Coastal Carolina will win and cover the spread. But like you said, we don't have to bet every game. And this isn't one that I got a really strong feeling about.
All right, back to the SEC. We got LSU and number 2, Alabama. Alabama up to 28.5 on the spread, 66.5 on the total. So just 5-3 against the spread this season for Alabama, 3-5 against the spread for LSU. We know it's been a mess. I think Alabama rolls in this one. I don't mind laying the points here, especially if I can find a 28 out there. Roll Tide roll for me, Scott. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, I think the Crimson Tide are going to send old Ed Orgeron right off and kick him in the butt right back to LSU, and they're going to probably score in the 60s on him, and I just don't see LSU getting above 20. So, yeah, I think Alabama wins by 30 or so. I do like the Crimson Tide here.
All right, we got Tennessee and Kentucky up next. Kentucky ranked 18th. Tennessee, the favorite in this game, though. It started Kentucky -3. We're up to Tennessee -1 now. Kind of surprising here. So with all the line movement, Scott, you got to think Tennessee is the pick here. Is that the way you're rolling?
No, I'm not going to. I actually think I like Kentucky here. I mean, Kentucky coming off back-to-back road losses, but they're really good at home. I think, it looks tempting to go Tennessee. They are coming off a bye week, but I think the Wildcats are going to win at home. They seem to get it done down there in Lexington. So I'm going to say Kentucky wins here by a field goal.
All right, I'm going to go over on this one. Again, two teams that can score the ball for sure. 27 points per game for Kentucky, 37 a game for Tennessee. So they are definitely both capable in the offensive categories here. That line movement makes me nervous on that spread, but I do like this total to go over. We'll go out west for our next one, Boise State and Fresno State. Fresno State -5 in this spot, and he leans on this one total at 61.
No, these are the two top teams in that Mountain West Conference. So I looked into it a little bit. They've split their last 4 meetings with each other, but Boise State's been a pesky team all season. I'm not saying they got a chance to pull the upset here on the road. I think Fresno State wins, but I think they keep it. I think Boise State keeps it close. But so I don't really have a strong lean. But I think they win, but they fail to cover.
All right, back to the Big Ten. We got Iowa down to number 22, traveling to Northwestern. 12-point favorites are the Hawkeyes, 40.5 on the total. So we've seen Iowa kind of tripped up here a couple times. Now this should be a get-right spot here against this 3-5 Northwestern team.
Yeah, Northwestern's not very good. I think Iowa rolls.
All right, Houston and South Florida up next. Houston -13.5. A very good team here, 7-1 so far to open the season. South Florida just 2-6, but 4-4 against the spread. Can they put up a fight here, Scott, and keep this within 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, they got themselves in the mix in their conference after beating SMU. So I think they stay focused, and I think they beat Florida State or South Florida handily.
Yeah, I think Houston rolls in that one. I like them a lot. All right, main event, Indiana and your Michigan Wolverines. Michigan -20.5 here in this spot. Total sitting at 51. Not much movement there, but this thing has been bet up a little bit. Michigan 6-2 against the spread. Indiana, it's been a struggle, just 2-6 against the spread. I think Michigan rolls in this one. Coming off of that loss last week, they're going to take their frustrations out on this Indiana team.
I agree. I think they're going to be focused. They're going to be a little bit upset, and I think they definitely win by more than 20. So I'm going with the Big Blue.
All right, Oregon and Washington up next. Oregon -7 here in this spot. Found themselves in the top 4 of the college football playoff, but Washington always a tough place to play. but struggles this season, 2-6 against the spread. Feels like another one. Oregon should win pretty easily. Why is this number only 7?
Yeah, because Oregon's 0-6 against the spread as a favorite this year. So I think a few people have been burned by them. But, they're going on the road. It's always tough to go on the road. Washington's played 5 straight one-score games, but I think Oregon wins. I think they win handily here. I'd be willing to lay the 6.5.
Yeah, I like Oregon, especially you can get under that 7 for sure. If you can find a 6.5, I really like them. Even at 7, I don't hate it, but that 6.5 would be key for me. Next, we got a battle of Texas. San Antonio checking in at number 18 against Texas El Paso. UTSA undefeated so far this season, 7-1 against the spread, 11-point favorites here, Scott. Again, 2 teams I don't know a ton about, but this Texas San Antonio team, pretty impressive to be ranked inside the top 20.
That's for sure. I was going to say we can Texas El Paso right on through this game, but yeah, I don't know much about it. I mean, Texas and San Antonio, wouldn't even know, but they're 8-0, 7-1 against the spread, but UTEP's 6-2 against the spread, so don't know much about it. So I'm going to pass. But it is at 10:15, so if you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, stay away from it. Just wait till tomorrow and Sunday.
And if you really want to stay up late, our last top 25 matchup, 11 o'clock Eastern tonight. We got San Diego State and Hawaii. San Diego State checking in at number 24 in the country, 7-1. Hawaii 4-5 this season and just 3-6 against the spread here. So again, another a really good team on the road against a not so good team. We see another 7-point spread here, Scott. Are you staying up late to bet this San Diego State Hawaii game?
Nope, I'll be sleeping, getting ready for our big show tomorrow for NFL. I definitely will not be up for that one, but I think I'd roll with San Diego State minus the 7. But I don't think Hawaii's that good. 70% of the money's coming in on San Diego State, so I would roll with them.
All right, that'll do it for our top lot of games here with no top 25 matchups. So some of the games we kind of cruise through, just nothing interesting betting wise, but Scott, we've come to the point of the show. We always love to give our best bets here for this Saturday slate of college football. I'm going to turn it over to you. Best bets here for Saturday. What do you got?
Well, call me a homer if you want, Chris, but I just like the spot the Michigan Wolverines are in. I think they're going to roll. I'm going to go with the Wolverines to win by more than 21. And then I also like Kentucky at home, like I said, against Tennessee. I know that looks a little fishy. I know a lot of people you just look at it and you would think that Tennessee's in a better spot here, but I'm going to roll with UK. And then for my last bet of the day, I think that I do like the over in that North Carolina game. So I'm going to sit back and watch it. I know you mentioned you may go with the under in that, but I just think both quarterbacks are really good. And I think that they both score. Like I said, I think there's going to be 45 or so. So I'm going to go the over in that North Carolina game.
All right, I won't rain on your parade and put a best bet on the under there. I mean, we one of us could lock in a win there, but yeah, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to give you 3 just like you did. I also like Michigan, but I'll leave that one on your side. I love Alabama in the spot. I think they roll LSU. I mean, Orgeron was a guy talking trash last time these two teams played and the year they won the title. So Alabama's a team that's going to take things personal. They're going to take it out on this team. Plus, they know they can't afford. They don't have much margin of error with some of these undefeated teams still behind them, teams like Cincinnati. So I think we see Alabama really roll in this one. I really like that over in the Auburn Texas A&M game. I think we get a big-time shootout there, so that total seemed a little bit low in my opinion. I also like the over in the West Virginia-Oklahoma State game, kind of the same thought process. I think West Virginia is going to put up enough offense, force Oklahoma State to put 30 points on the board over there for me as well. So, again, Alabama minus about 28.5, 29, depending on your book, over in the Auburn-Texas A&M game and over in West Virginia and Oklahoma State. So those are our best bets. Make sure you join us tomorrow when we'll be talking NFL, breaking down the main slate from top to bottom for DFS, for your season long, for bets. We'll have our best bet segment as well. We'll check in and see how our college football bets did and see if the hot streak continues here with our best bets. So, Scott, always good talking some college football. Any final thoughts for the people here on Woodward Bets?
Nope, just looking forward to having some fun today. I always like some college football. Like I said, a little calm before the storm, before all these rivalry games get going here in the next few weeks. So just hopefully all our teams can stay clean. Hey, I'm rooting for the Sparties. Just keep it clean. I wanna see them roll into Columbus and see what they can do with the Buckeyes. So definitely hoping that they can keep clean. But like I said, I'm not betting on it, but go blue and hopefully the best bet of my Wolverines. Because if not, Chris, I'm going to catch some slack as being called a homer. That's for damn sure.
Hey, I'm the guy that came on these airwaves and said Purdue is going to beat one of the local undefeated top 3 teams in the nation. So I'll be catching some flack as well if Michigan State rolls in that one. But hey, it's all in good fun. We appreciate you guys for listening. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the football. Again, make sure you join us tomorrow talking NFL here at Woodward Bets. Make sure you give our Twitter page a follow. Make sure you go check out Underdog Fantasy, promo code WSN for a free $10 on your $10 deposit. For Scott, for Boise behind the glass, I am Beer. We are Woodward Bets. Thank you for watching.